This will be the ultimate guide on how to start a dropshipping store in 2022. In this video, we're going to learn how to actually make it profitable and make a couple of $1,000s every single month in profit consistently with the dropshipping model. Now, to be transparent here, this is not going to be one of those videos where I'm going to preach to you that it's super easy and you're just going to get rich quick in a matter of no time without any work, all right? This is not the case. Dropshipping is a really hard business model. However, if you do it right, you're going to make insane amounts of money if you do it properly. Okay, so before we get started, just a quick introduction to me. My name is Michael Bernstein, and over the last 5 years, I've been consistently doing dropshipping myself. And over the last almost 3 years, I've been consistently coaching how to actually build your profitable store. And at this point, we already coached over 100 people. We have a shit ton of 7-figure students, a lot of 6-figure students, and also obviously me, myself, I also built multiple 6- and 7-figure stores. In this video, I'm specifically going to talk about how to actually make it work, and I'm not going to provide a lot of proof about that I am actually legit. Okay, so the proof you probably should check out by just looking at all the interviews, which I already have on my channel, where I basically talk to a lot of my students and we share the screen and they go into their ads managers and the stores and they show you exactly how much they've done and talk about the experience of working with me. And obviously you can clearly see the channel itself is not that big. However, we have a lot of interviews on this channel, and I would argue that the density of videos with students and how many students actually got successful is showing super quick by looking at the numbers and actually comparing how small the channel is in relation to how many interviews and students and testimonials we have here. Okay, so you can check that out after the video, but let's just jump into the actual guide on how to start dropshipping in 2022. So let's talk first about what actually will be covered. And it's basically going to be first, who is dropshipping really for? Okay, it's really important to understand if this business model is even for you, or you should just put your money and time into something else. The second part is going to be how to do product research properly, and trust me, product research is by far the most important part in the whole dropshipping model entirely. All right, so you need to know how to find a good product, where to find it, etc. Then we're going to talk about how to make good ads which actually get clicked. And that's the second most important part out of the dropshipping model. Then we're going to talk about how to make a good store that converts. And also we're going to talk about how to analyze your numbers after you start selling. Okay, and this is something which most people basically have no clue about at all. If you see that your, let's say, cost per purchase is this, and CPM is this, and CTR is this, those numbers can be very confusing in the beginning. However, there's a very specific way how you can actually read them. Okay, we're going to cover that and talk about what you actually should focus your time on and what the most important parts are and where your time and energy should be put in. And then in the very end of the presentation, we're going to have a little bonus, but you're going to see. So let's get started with this. Who is dropshipping really for? And the first thing you have to understand is, again, dropshipping will not make you rich quick. Okay, this mindset you have to just throw out the window. If you think you're going to just get rich quick without putting any effort and that's it, it's not gonna happen. All right, you can go somewhere else and basically get scammed there and get this like dream sold. However, in reality, you're never gonna make a substantial amount of money super quick without putting in any effort. Also, you have to understand that dropshipping is really, really tough if you don't know what you're doing, and also it can be super frustrating. All right, in the beginning, there's going to be so many problems you're going to face. There's going to be Facebook blocks. There's going to be problems like the product doesn't work, or you don't know what ads to choose, or like how to do the store, or like technical issues with setting up the store, setting up the ads, finding the products properly. All those problems will be there, and they will be very frustrating, and it also will be very tempting to actually quit. All right, and this is going to be the first challenge which everybody has to overcome. Solving all those frustrating problems, which you need to solve in the beginning, will be the first step to success. And if you can actually make it through and solve all those difficult problems, which are solvable, you're going to make a shit ton of money. And with that being said, we have to understand that you can actually live from dropshipping every single month consistently if you do it right. All right, you can make a lot of money, you live from wherever you want, And at some point, don't put in that much time anymore because you outsourced a lot of things. You gave most of the parts away, you automated the whole stores, and actually get a passive income going if you want that. Now, obviously, if you for example want to just make 5 to 10K profit per month, that's gonna work, okay? To make more and to constantly grow and grow and grow, it's not gonna stay passive. I'm telling you that already. So if you want to get to 20, 30, 40K profit every single month, it's basically not going to work out if you don't put in any effort and time in the long term. So just to summarize here, you need to understand that dropshipping is difficult, but if you make it work, it's really, really worth it. All right, so let's get to an overview of what actually is needed to launch a product. Because obviously the first milestone I would set to myself is just launching a product on Facebook. So spending your first $50 on Facebook and seeing how that goes. Okay, to actually spend those $50 on Facebook first, you need to be prepared. You need to set up the product. You need to first select which product you're going to sell. Then make a store, set up the ads and make creatives like videos which look really good, and then also set up everything on Facebook. All right, if you do those 4 steps, you're actually going to be able to launch. And now let's go into what actually is important with the product research. So the first thing you have to understand is that you need to measure products being good or bad with a set of criteria. And that's very important because you need to understand that you have to have a very clear metric of what a good product looks like and what a bad product looks like. Most people in the beginning, they just judge a product by intuition and by their personal opinion. So let's use this guitar spoon on the screen as an example, all right? If you personally like this product, it doesn't mean anything, okay? If you like this guitar spoon and you say, all right, I want to sell this guitar spoon because I personally like it. It doesn't matter. Your personal opinion does not matter. Mine also doesn't. And nobody's does unless you're very, very deep in that niche and you're like super into guitars. Your opinion is somewhat valid, but even then it's not that huge. Okay? What you need to actually do is set a couple of criteria for yourself, which is, for example, all right, I need to focus on products which have, let's say, upsell potential. All right? What does upsell potential mean? Basically, does it make sense to buy 2, 3, or 4 products of that one product? All right? So with this guitar spoon, that's a great example for amazing upsell potential. Because it makes a lot of sense to not buy one spoon, it actually makes a lot of sense to buy a set of spoons. All right? This could be a criteria for determining if you should select a product or not. And let me tell you already, if you're going to watch on YouTube and try to figure out the proper sets of criteria, you're going to find a lot of BS in there. Because most people just say, all right, you just need to have a problem-solving product which has the wow effect and a lot of AliExpress orders, and if you have that, you're basically going to be able to make it work because you just need that, and then it's all about the marketing. All right, that's not true. There's way more criteria which are way more important, and basically inside of our mentoring program I reveal all of them. Unfortunately, I cannot do that on the YouTube channel because if I would do it, the products could get saturated, and if everybody would test with my set of criteria, it will be a problem for people who actually bought the program and for me, because there would be such a crazy overflow of new people coming in and selling those products. All right, but what I can tell you is you need to set a lot of criteria and focus on only products which fit all of the criteria. All right, there's basically an infinite amount of products out there, and you basically need to understand that you can pick from all of them. All right, so just make your life easy and select a fucking good product instead of just wasting your time on bullshit product, because it's going to make your life so much easier. If you have a really, really good product, okay, it's going to make marketing super simple. Let's talk about this real quick because we're going to talk about the ads on a later stage, okay? And the ads are super important. However, you can pick products which make good ads already by default. You can just make a picture of a 10 out of 10 product and it's going to look amazing, okay? Why? Because it's a great product. And other products, and not the best videographer is going to make a good video for that product because the product just sucks, okay? So you need to take into account that the product itself is the key to everything, and you shouldn't follow this advice which a lot of people give, which is basically, all right, it doesn't matter what you sell, it's all about the marketing. You can make every product a winning product. It's true, but why would you do that? Why would you actually make your life so hard and really put in all the effort and time into marketing without being an expert yet, instead of just really finding a good product and selling that? Okay? Hopefully I hammered that point down enough. Let's move on. So the last thing you have to understand is it actually makes a difference if you start with TikTok or you start with Facebook. All right, so you should actually pick which platform you're going to go for with the product. Basically, if you're a student of mine, you're going to make a list with all the products you're going to find which fit my criteria, which I'm going to give to you, and you're going to make a list. I'm personally going to select this one is good, this one is bad, why is it good, why is it bad, and we're going to kind of narrow things down till we have the very best one, all right? And with that top product, we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be store and ad creation. However, I also pick if we start with TikTok or Facebook. Mostly you should start with Facebook. However, there are products which are just perfect for TikTok. And then I just tell the student, all right, because you found this perfect TikTok product, instead of going for Facebook, we're going to change the strategy up a little bit and go to the TikTok strategy. All right. So in the beginning, by selecting the product, you have to make sure that you know where you're going to sell it. For example, there are products which are just an issue for Facebook in terms of policies and not that big of an issue in terms of policies for TikTok, or the other way around. So you need to make sure that you think of that ahead and don't just let it come and later on you're going to figure out how to do the marketing. Okay. And the last point I really want to make here is the quality of the product actually does matter. Okay, so please don't send out just shitty products to your customers. It's not going to work out in the long term. If you find a product, actually make sure that it's a good one, and don't sell like dangerous products, like for example a cream which you never tested out and you don't know if it's going to like make a rash on somebody or whatever it is. You know, sell something which actually is good from the quality standpoint, and don't just sell bullshit. Exactly because of that, this whole dropshipping industry has such a bad reputation, because a lot of people just sell shitty products on Facebook, and that basically puts everybody who actually sells good products into this mode where they have to double justify that they really do sell something good, you know? So please make yourself and the whole dropshipping community a favor and actually sell good products. So that's that for the product. Let's move on to the ads. And again, the ads actually matter a lot. I'm big on basically putting your time into something which actually really matters, and not putting into so much energy in places where you're not going to make a lot of money anyways from that, okay? Ads is actually a thing and a skill which you need to learn to become good at dropshipping, okay? You need to make really good ads or have a really good videographer to become successful, okay? So with a really good product and with a really good ad, it's almost going to have a guarantee that you're going to have success in dropshipping if you do that constantly, okay? And the best research method for ads is your competition. You need to see how everybody else is selling the product you're selling right now and replicate that format as well, okay? That's going to be crucial. It's really important to understand that there's proven concept with these types of videos. And also what you should stop thinking about is that you need to stand out, to do something special, and for example, select a product which nobody sold before, or make an ad style which nobody did before you. No. People do it for a reason. If a product works for somebody else, that's good. It's really good that it does work for them, because that means that it could also work for you. As a beginner, you're not going to make anything work which you just invented. Okay? You need to focus first on copying every style of other people, and later on you can invent and create and do all the creative stuff. Okay? So in the beginning, just focus on what competition does. The second thing about ads is you need to understand that making ads which don't look like ads is the key to success. Okay? So again, making ads which would not stick out if you would just see them on Instagram or Facebook. They look like a regular video which you just randomly see on Instagram or randomly see on Facebook, instead of looking like something which is a sales pitch. If you think about you scrolling around on Instagram, you scroll around and you see a funny video and you stop scrolling, and then you see an ad and you immediately keep scrolling past, all right? This is a scenario which everybody encounters. However, if you see an ad where you don't even notice that it's an ad, obviously you will give it at least a chance. You will stop scrolling for a couple of seconds and then they're hooked, okay? So it's really important to make ads which don't look like ads, and let me actually show you a couple of examples here. The first one is this beer cooler. Let's take a look at the ad, and then we're gonna comment.
Are you drinking again?
Yep. With a twist.
What? Where did you... What? Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Dude, you're not serious right now.
Oh, I'm serious.
What? Oh my...
All right, so clearly you can tell this is a video which would go viral by itself. Okay? If you would just post this video on a random Instagram meme page or a page which is connected to like football or drinking or whatever, this goes viral. Okay? Because it seems like a genuine reaction from this guy basically reacting to a super cool product, and you cannot really tell that it's even a product because of the format that you don't have any salesy text in it, you don't have anything, because the video itself, it speaks for itself. All right, so this is a perfect example of a really good ad, and you can clearly see, look at this, like it has 10,000 likes and 9,700 shares. All right, just think about how many shares that is in comparison to like, that's just absolutely insane. All right, if you have like a 1-to-1 ratio of likes and shares, that's so much free money, because shares are free traffic. And a share can get you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views extra for free without needing to pay for that ad. Okay, so that's the first example. And let me show you the second example, which is also really good. And basically it's this like chug toy. Let's check out the video here. We don't really need to listen to the music, but basically it's the same concept. So you can clearly see that this video, it's super low quality. All right, most people think that you need to make a super high quality, high production video, and just look at this. Obviously this is highly illegal and you should not do this. Like, this is just a crazy video of a crazy guy, and obviously you shouldn't like do stupid stuff like this. However, this is a video which also clearly goes viral. And you see again, 138,000 likes, 100,000 shares, just absolutely crazy numbers. Again, when I just see an ad like this, I just know, all right? If I see this, I guarantee the person which made this like video and brand, they made a crazy amount of money, all right? Just because of this video. And imagine this video in comparison to just an ad where you show how cool this product is and you describe how amazing this thing is and how quick you can chug with it, whatever. All of this doesn't matter. If you have a video like this, it will just crush everything else. Okay, it's not even comparable because this goes viral. So to launch a product, you need to have at least 3 variations of ads. Okay, so one video is not going to be enough because you don't really know yet what your target audience is and how to hit them. So it's going to be really important to, number one, change up the first couple of seconds of the video, so the scroll stopper, we're going to get to that. But basically, you need to make different versions of that video because you don't know yet what your target audience needs to see. And you need to just try out different things. All right, so at least 3 versions are needed. Normally like 3 to 4 is fine. Then let's talk about the scroll stoppers. So what I mean with the scroll stopper is basically the first 3 seconds of a video and what you actually see when you just click on play or when it auto plays when you scroll. Okay, so first things first, a scroll stopper is the most important part out of a video. Okay, this scroll stopper will decide if a person scrolls or stops. All right, so let me also show you 2 really good examples of a scroll stopper, and you need to understand and think of which product you would sell to this. So let's imagine you're going to sell a pit bull necklace, like a necklace for basically like a chain for the dog pit bull, and you would take this video as the scroll stopper. Now, obviously, this is again gonna do good because this video is gonna grab the attention of everybody who is either into pit bulls or likes dogs. This is just a really cool video. It's connected to the product. It's just not a random video of a dog, which like could sometimes work, but I wouldn't really do it. And basically, if you would just take this video and put it in front of your Facebook ad, it would crush. All right, just because of this intro, it's gonna make everything so much better. All right, so now let me show you another example of a good scroll stopper, and this is basically going to be for a dog trimmer. All right, so let's imagine you're selling a product which is this like dog trimmer which shaves kind of the hair of the dog. And now let's imagine you're going to put this clip as the first couple of seconds. Again, super engaging, you don't expect it, it's connected to the product, it's connected to the niche, it's clearly good for dog lovers, it's basically just a very engaging and great clip, an amazing way to start out your ad. Okay, so those are the 2 examples I want to give you, and I hope you understand what I mean now. The scroll stoppers matter a lot. Okay, now obviously there's tons of ways how to make a scroll stopper other ways, and I just show you 2 examples which are like very engaging, but you can also go completely in another direction with it. However, just keep in mind that the scroll stopper will determine if people scroll or stop. Okay. Next thing is the thumbnail. So the thumbnail is the thing which you basically see as the picture before you click on play. Okay. In a lot of cases, you need to understand that Facebook and Instagram actually autoplays a lot of the videos. So most of the videos will just immediately play. However, in some cases, you will see the thumbnail, and if the click is required, for example, in the Explore page or wherever, you're also going to see the thumbnail more. The thumbnail matters, but it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about are the headlines, and they also matter way more than the thumbnail. So I would say the most important part about the ad is the scroll stopper, then the headline, and only after that you're going to start split testing the thumbnails. So the last thing I want to talk about here are the headlines, and headlines are game changers. All right, I want to put in a little clip here where one of my students actually says exactly that, and basically talks about how I basically told him to just put in one sentence inside of the video, and it just crushed immediately.
That I tested and I showed you that it didn't work at all. And then you just told me to write, and it just changed completely. And
so what I mean with a headline is basically inside of the video, the top line inside of the video is going to be the thing which people see and notice first. So if you have a good headline, which either indicates what this product is about, or the headline by itself is some kind of scroll stopper, it will do way better. So the point of the headline is either to explain what the product is about, or leave the person hanging and basically let them wait for something which is later to come. So for example, if you would say, wait for the end, wait till the end, immediately more people will wait till the end. All right. If you would say something like, I cannot believe what this baby did, and there's no baby in the video, people are going to think, wait a second, what baby is this guy talking about? What does it mean? And they're going to wait to see the baby, you know? So basically holding their attention is really important, and headlines actually do exactly that, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's those implied scroll stoppers, which I was just talking about, or just a genuinely good line which you put in there. It's basically going to determine a lot of the success of the ad, okay? So the next thing I want to cover is the store. And the store is an overrated thing. All right. Most people think that the store is a thing which is so important, and if you put in your time into the store and make a perfect logo, make a perfectly designed store, put in the time and like the colors and everything, it's going to work out. Unfortunately, that's not reality. Even though designing a store is super fun and it can take a lot of time because you need to perfect it, you don't. You know, it's like it's just a time waster, and it eats up so much of your time. And I know so many people who just started out building the store and built it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then didn't even start selling the product, because in reality they just got caught up in the process of making the store, and it was super fun to them, but it's not productive. All right, it's productive procrastination. It's just doing bullshit which feels super productive. Okay, so this is not the priority. All right, the store is not the priority. And I have another video where I talk about how I made $3,000 per day on a shitty store. All right, it's a terrible looking store. And also what I like to do in my free consultation sessions, I'm going to talk about that later. But basically, before I start working with a person, we obviously have a call and figure out if everything is a good fit. And I like to show a couple of examples of old stores which I ran at some point, just so you actually see how they looked, because I don't care about revealing the product and all of that, because I'm not selling those products anymore. So just keep that in mind before you do all of this, and before you design the store, don't even put your time in there before you have the product ready, before you selected a really good product, and also before you figure out what to do with the ads. Okay, the store is just a thing which needs to be done, and it has to be above a certain baseline, but it doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Obviously, if you make a store which is super scammy, it's not going to work, because people are going to think you're going to scam them. However, it doesn't have to be crazy good. To sum it up, it doesn't have to look pretty. However, it does have to convert and have a good average order value. So the upselling is going to be really important. So here again, research what your competition does. Research which description they have and basically mimic them. All right. You're not going to come up with anything better than your competition who's currently selling. You need to understand that everything you're going to come up with was probably already split tested. And that's a big thing. And this concept is one of the most important concepts in all business. For example, if you follow a strategy, if you follow me and I just tell you, all right, do this and this and this and this, and you tell me, all right, I would like to do this, like you say, however, I'm going to try it like I think I'm going to do it. Okay? And you're going to try, instead of pricing the product like this, you're going to price the product like this. You're going to do that and it's not going to work out and you're going to wonder why. So what you need to understand here is I price it the way I tell you to price it because I already tested out all the other prices before, all right? I already tested out what you just are about to test. I tested out almost everything, and like 95% of the times where people tell me, hey, should I split test this? If it's not inside of the strategy, don't split test it because I already tried, it didn't work, and that's why I don't tell you to try it. Okay? And it's exactly the same with your competition. In a lot of the cases, if you have a good competitor which tested out a lot, they already tested out the thing which you wanted to test, and they have the better version because that's what they split tested and that's what came out. Okay? So you need to understand that, and you need to also understand that just mimic their store, take the description, like obviously don't take the description from them, but take the style and take the angles and take the benefits of the same, like of the product which they're talking about, instead of just inventing your own thing. You're not going to make it better, all right? So the next thing is the description needs to be about benefits and not about features, all right? That's a big marketing concept as well. You just need to understand that if you're selling something, you're not selling them the features of that product, you're selling them the benefits, all right? If you're talking about this teddy bear and you're basically talking about the dimensions, the dimensions of it first, and then the quality of the material and all of that, it doesn't really matter. Like, that's not the reason why they would buy. They don't buy because that teddy is the width of 20 centimeters. Like, it doesn't matter, all right? The thing which actually makes them buy is the benefits. So the reaction of their girlfriend, for example, whatever it is, all right? So focus on benefits instead of features. The next thing is first pictures have to be in action. So instead of just having the product without any person or just with a white background, just a product and a white background, that's not really good. What actually is good is if you either have people in there or you have emotions in there or you have something which actually makes the picture feel vibrant and like makes it like a little bit more alive and makes the product show what it actually does in the moment where it's in action. So it doesn't matter what type of product it is. Here, for example, it clearly shows the gift, all right? Because this is a very clear giftable product, it shows the moment of receiving the gift and giving the gift and these happy emotions and all of that. The first picture actually does matter, and you're going to have a very high bounce rate, so the rate of people who go away from your store after just like watching it for 2 seconds is going to go down if you have a great picture, okay? So that's that. The other thing is you need to have a GIF, basically a moving picture which explains the product as well. It has to be pretty high on the top, and how I normally structure my product descriptions is basically just a paragraph on the top, the very, very top, explaining why this offer is so good. So for example, if you have an offer which is, let's say, buy one and get one free, or you have an offer which is 50% off or whatever, you need to explain why you would actually do that, because people know that companies do things to make money. All right, they understand that buying from a store, they're not going to give them 50% off because they like them. It has to have a logical explanation. So what I like to do is put in there's something like, all right, we have a stock clearance, or we're moving warehouses, and that's why we need to get rid of everything we have, 50% off, that's why. Something like that, okay? That's one thing. And then also on the top, which also really, really works well, is some kind of review, just like a little text, like a line and quotations, and like with a name below it, which just explains how great this product is. Again, benefits, not features. After that, you basically have this GIF, where it's going to be like a moving picture which shows your product in action and shows exactly what your product is doing. And then you are going to have a paragraph, then a picture, then a paragraph, then like a GIF or a picture again, and then so it's going to go on. And basically on the very bottom, you're going to have reviews. Okay, it's really important to actually have reviews which look real and not fake. And what I mean by that is, if you have a review which is this like beautiful model taking a teddy bear picture here like this, you're going to understand this is a photo shoot and not just like a random customer which bought from the store and loved this product, all right? So not clean testimonials look way better. If it, for example, will be just a selfie or like a shitty phone picture where it's like a teddy in somebody's hand, that's a way better testimonial, because that actually at least looks real, okay? And then on top of that, you're going to have some kind of text, and it's also really important to eliminate objections inside of that, like first of all in the description, and second also in the reviews. So for example, if an objection could be the long delivery times, you could say something, I actually thought that this delivery is going to take a very, very long time. However, it was already there in like 5 days. All right, just as an example. And if you don't have 5-day shipping times, don't do that, but you get the point. So eliminating objections is going to be really key as well. So now let's talk about the Facebook setup. All right, and I don't want to get into all the technical things here on how to set this, like how to connect the pixel, how to set up the domain and all of that and connect it with Facebook. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the strategy and what actually really matters. So number one is you need to stick to one strategy. You need to pick one strategy and stick to it and don't do anything else. Because there's so many different strategies, you should not really mix them up and rather take one strategy and basically, let's say if somebody tells you, all right, you need to make 5 ad sets with $10 per day and leave them running for at least 2 days until you analyze everything, and then you're going to see. You do that, okay? What I would recommend to most beginners is just exactly what I just said. 5 ad sets, $10 per ad set. That's $50 per day. It's not going to make you broke. It's not going to make you rich. It's not like a big thing. Basically, in the first couple of days, you're just going to gather data and see what's going to happen, okay? So the actual thing which does matter here is the targeting. Now, obviously, the targeting, that's also something which most people don't understand and think the targeting is done in the targeting. Before you pick a product, think about this. Because if you sell a phone charger, for example, who are you going to target it to? Every iPhone user, every phone user? That's everyone, you know? So you cannot have, you don't have that passionate audience right off the bat. So what I would do is I would make my life easier and select a product which is easy to target, because then you're not going to have trouble here. If you have a dog product, it's very clear you need to target people who are into dogs. That's it. Or who own dogs. And if you have that product which is picked correctly, now you can pretty much easily target it. What's important here is don't target multiple times the same interest, all right? So for example, if you're gonna do like a dog product and you wanna target the interest dog lovers, all right? That's a valid interest and you can target that. However, you shouldn't have 5 ad sets with all of them being the same dog lover interest, because if that interest is not that great, you're gonna lose all of your money. And basically you're gonna think that nothing worked, when in reality there was just like a bad interest, all right? So basically what you need to do is you go a little bit more broad and target different things in each ad set, okay? Then you need to understand that as long as you have a good creative, as long as you have a good headline, as long as the text, like about the caption, the description, but basically above the video, also is good, you don't need to worry about all the fancy rest, all right? It doesn't really matter if you're gonna start with a CBO, with an ABO, what the bidding strategy is, what micro things you're gonna do there. All of those things, they don't matter that much if you do the basics right. So that's that, all right? And I would personally prefer starting with an ABO because it's just more clear. However, if everything is going to work out, it's also going to work out with a CBO, you know? So that's that. We're on the next day right now. We noticed microphone was off, but anyways, basically let's get back started to analyzing what happens after you launch the product and how you go about seeing if the product is good, if the product is bad, and how you just deal with things and how you scale, etc. All right. So the first thing you have to understand is you have to have scenarios mapped out and understand what you do in which scenario. For example, if you see that your product does not work at all, you made 0 sales, you spent $100, nothing worked at all, you have to have in mind, all right, what is the highest priority split test I need to do here? For example, new creatives. And if that doesn't work, I'm just going to kill the product and move on. All right. For example, that can be like a mapped out scenario where you do X if Y happened. All right. The other scenario could be you're breaking even. And then it's extremely important to understand what to split test. And that's crucial. The most important part about having a break-even product is to get it out of this break-even state is to understand what your bottleneck is. Number one, looking at your metrics, looking if the problem is, for example, on the store, on the conversion rate, or on the average order value, basically how much people spend on your store, that you don't have enough upsells, or if the problem is somewhere earlier in the funnel and you have a super high CPM, high CTR, and all of those things where it just costs you a lot to get the click onto your website. All right. However, you have to understand that sometimes you have a low conversion rate and it seems that your store needs to be fixed, when in reality, the traffic you're getting is just shitty. For example, if you're gonna do TikTok ads, it's just very natural that your conversion rate is gonna go down. Why? Not because your store gets worse, but because the traffic gets worse. All right, and you have to understand where the problem is. And sometimes it's very counterintuitive because you see a low conversion rate and then you need to change the ads, even though like the CPM and the CTR and the cost per click is amazing. Okay, so the big lesson here is to understand that the most important metrics are sales. That's the crucial thing. All right, if the sales, like cost per purchase, ROAS, and all of that is good, you shouldn't kill the ad set. You should rather scale the ad sets by doing a couple of things. But basically understanding that is going to be very important, and also just knowing when to kill a product and when to move on is a very important skill. All right, I see so many people wasting weeks and weeks and weeks of their life just on testing bullshit with a shitty product. Okay, you tested it, it didn't work, move on. Don't get emotionally attached to it. Don't think because like you need to change the logo or the store or something specific, and if you change that, everything is going to change. If you tested some things and it didn't work, just move on, make your life easier by testing the next product. This concept of not getting emotionally attached is crucial. I see so many people in the beginning putting in so much time and effort in the first test, and that's also one of the reasons I, for example, preach a lot to not brand a product before you have a proven concept, because I know that you will get emotionally attached. Let's say you put in $3,000 into making a perfect store, getting really good custom pictures, getting amazing custom videos, getting influencers to do your stuff, getting like a crazy web designer to do everything for you. You pay a couple of $1,000s for that, and you put in like a month of your time, all right? Guess what you're gonna do if you're gonna see shitty metrics on Facebook? You're not gonna just stop the ads and you're gonna think, all right, this didn't work, let's move on. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna test and test and test and test and lose more money and more money and more money, when in reality you shouldn't. Just because you did this mistake in the beginning and you branded everything and you put in a lot of effort before the proven concept doesn't justify to not kill if the metrics are bad, all right? So that's that. Basically, killing early if something doesn't work is crucial, and also not killing things which are profitable or which are breaking even, and to understand that, all right, this product actually shows potential. This product is breaking even for the last month. However, I see that if I improve this, it could actually go up. If I get better data from Facebook, if I can split test the next 10 different upsell offers and get my average order value, I'm going to be profitable. All right. It's understanding the dynamic of when to kill, when to keep going, when to split test is so important, and it's very hard to figure out by yourself, and that's why I do this mentoring thing, because I've already seen all the scenarios hundreds of times with me or my students, you know? So I basically can tell you exactly what you need to do in which scenario and what the most probable outcome will be here, okay? So that's that. And then the next thing is understanding cash flow. And understanding cash flow is trickier than you think, okay? So in the beginning, it's gonna feel like you're making way more money than you actually are. The first thing you have to understand is if you make, let's say you make 30K in revenue, for the most beginners, like 30K revenue per month, for most of the beginners, that's insane, all right? That's a crazy number. If you do that, that's just gonna change your life completely and that's it, all right? In reality, it's not a lot. Even though it feels like you made $30,000, you didn't. If you actually have like, let's say 33% margins, just make it round and easy, you're actually gonna make 10K profit, which is great, but also you have to understand that you as a person made zero, all right? You didn't make any money. The business made $10,000. And that's a big difference. You cannot spend your money on clothing right now. Those $10,000 are not yours. It's the money of the business. And the business is basically going to need that money to cycle in that money to make more money. All right. And it's very important to understand that if you're going to take $8,000 and take them out and you only are left with $2,000, you're not going to be able to scale. So that's that. Just understanding that you cannot spend your money on stupid shit when you don't have it. If you don't make at least for 6 months, 5 figures in profit, then you can actually start thinking about taking money out for you and taking good portion to just live from that. That's fine. However, even then, you should do that carefully and understand how much money you need to scale and how quick you want to scale. Because that leads me to the next point here. How quick can you actually scale with your budget? All right? And that's very important to understand because let's say you have $2,000 sitting in the bank account, the cash flow is not going to allow you to scale to $10,000 per day in like a week, all right? And even if you have a perfect 10 out of 10 product, everything is super profitable, everything works great, it's impossible to scale that quick because basically it takes a couple of days, for example, to Stripe pay you out and if you get an order, it's going to take like 3 to 7 days to get the money from that order. All right. Also, you have to pay Facebook ads daily. So to make $10,000 per day, you're going to need to spend, for example, $4,000 in ad spend. And to spend $4,000 in ad spend is impossible to do if you only have like 1 or 2K in the bank account. You know, so you need to understand how the cash flow works and how quick you can scale, if it actually makes sense to take like a credit. And obviously you should not take credits for before you have a proven concept, but if you have a winner, it makes sense to take a credit and just fuel the business with the money, because it's going to be profitable anyways because you have a winner. The next thing I have to talk about is what to do to keep a product alive. Because there's a big difference between making $10,000 and making $10,000 per month for a year. All right, it's a big difference, and it's a completely different ball game to have this consistency, because there's going to be so many issues with consistently keeping a good level if you don't have experience in doing that. The main thing you're going to have to do is, number one, having backups for everything. All right, you're going to have multiple Facebook accounts, multiple PayPal accounts. You're going to have ideally multiple products that if one thing goes down, you're going to have another one. And basically all those things, you're just going to have to diversify, okay? It's not enough to not keep testing after you have a winning product. Because even though I'm going to get to how to keep a product alive, still it can happen that that product is going to die, okay? And it's not a guarantee that this product is going to be kept alive forever. Something can always happen. Let's imagine a huge competitor is going to jump in and start spending $500,000 per day on ads for their store for a similar product. You're out, all right? You're not going to be able to compete with that. And the same thing goes for if some kind of trend hits or something changes in the market or whatever. There's always things which are not in your influence which can get your product to die out, okay? And sure, there's a lot of ways how you can make it long term, but you should not rely on only one product. And it's very important to keep testing and testing and testing after you have a winner. Because there's two things you have to test. Number one, new products, and number two is new things for the winning product. All right, for example, what I mean with that is a lot of new content, a lot of new upsell offers, new prices, new headlines, whatever it is, you know, you're gonna have to test a lot. But the main thing is to not get comfortable. And if you're gonna get comfortable with it, you're just screwed. All right, if you have one winning product and not test the next ones, it's probably not going to work out in the long term. Your very first winning product, to actually take that and make it work in the super long term, it can happen. But the chances of that happening are not that high because you don't have that experience yet. And if you already would, if you had 10 products which worked out before, fine, maybe that you can actually make it work. But in the beginning, the chances are not the best, you know? So keep testing the next product, don't get comfortable, and don't think that 10K profit per month are gonna stay there if you don't do anything. Because the most important concept in dropshipping after you scale is to understand how delayed impact works, all right? If you stop working today, you're not gonna stop making money today. You're gonna keep making money the next day and the day after and the day after. However, in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, whenever, you're gonna feel that. And if you feel that not now, but later, you're gonna have this very counterintuitive thing where, let's say you don't work at all right now, but you make a lot of money, and then you basically start working, let's say in a month, and go really, really, really hard, but then you don't make any money at all, okay? And it's gonna feel like, all right, I'm making all this work, but it's completely useless because a month ago when I was not doing any work, I was making way more money. When in reality, you're not making money right now, you're making money for yourself in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months, okay? And you have to understand this delayed impact. Sometimes it can take a year until you feel the impact of doing bullshit a year ago or doing really good things a year ago, all right? So it's very important to understand this and just please keep testing after things worked out. All right, now let's get into how to actually make one product work in the long term. And now obviously we're gonna get to branding. All right, branding is going to be crucial here, but before we get into that, the more important part is going to be to split test everything you possibly can about that one product. But that's not enough. What you need to do is test a crazy amount of content, a crazy amount of scroll stoppers, a crazy amount of headlines, a crazy amount of different upsells, a crazy amount of different prices. You're going to have to test so many things and see what works best. So let me put it like this. If you have one ad which works great, one product page which works great, and one interest or one set of interests which work great, all right? If you have all of those things and one price which works well, if you have all of this, you basically think that this is the best you can get. All right? So you personally think that because it works right now and you're super profitable, it cannot get better. When in reality, if you would have had a 10 out of 10 perfect upsell, let's say, you would have made 10% more profit, 20% more profit, whatever it is, you know? And those little things which you're gonna split test, and let's say you test 20 things and 1 out of 20 is gonna work like crazy, it was worth it to spend a lot of money on all the 20 things. And it's very important to keep split testing even though you tested 15 things and the first initial offer still works the best. You tested this first thing, it worked out great, you got lucky and you hit the perfect thing on the very first try. And then you test the next 15 and nothing works and you think, all right, I had the best offer, that's it. No, you need to keep testing until you find something better, or maybe you actually hit that perfect thing in the beginning, but the chances are, and they're really high, that you didn't, okay? So the main thing which is gonna make the biggest difference is upsells, prices, headlines, and creatives. All right, those things are just hands down the most important part on scale, and obviously things like doing branding and split testing, for example, even like the postcards which are going to be inside of your package which you send out to the customer, and split testing different offers in there. You know, you can upsell in the package because you can just say, all right, you're going to get a $10 gift card for your next purchase on our store. And that's actually going to get a lot of people to come back. And you, for example, in the beginning don't know what's better, a $5 gift card, a $10 gift card, a $15 gift card, or a $20 gift card, because you have to understand the conversion rate and the money you lose through giving a gift card are correlating, and you have no idea how, you know, so you have to test all those things. And also you need to understand that every single split test costs you money, okay? You're gonna send paid traffic to that split test. You're gonna send paid traffic to a new creative. You're gonna send paid traffic to a new upsell offer, a new product page, a new price. Whatever it is, every single split test is going to cost money, and that's why I say how important it is to understand that there's a priority of split tests, you know? It just doesn't make sense to test the description before you tested a lot of creatives, or before you tested a lot of different prices or different shipping offers or whatever it is, you know? So those things actually matter more, and you have to understand what matters more and what matters less, and that's why inside of the mentoring program, again, I constantly tell you which specific thing I would split test if I would be you. So this leads me to the last point, which basically is that I actually have a mentoring program currently running, and it's one-on-one, all right? Where basically everything I just mentioned is gonna be covered in excruciating details, and I'm gonna be constantly looking over every single thing you do, and I'm gonna tell you what I would have done if I would be in your position. Okay, so for example, if you test a product, I'm gonna tell you before you spend a single dollar on the product, if I would test that product or if I wouldn't test the product. If you show me your creatives, I'm gonna tell you, all right, I would test those creatives or I would change those things up about the creatives. I'm gonna tell the same for the store, I'm gonna say the same for the Facebook, I'm gonna tell you what to do after you see the results on Facebook and how to handle things, basically what to do specifically, how to analyze if you should kill the product, if you should scale the product, what should you split test, and also how to diversify, how much cash flow you can allocate to the current product, how much cash flow can you allocate to the next testing of the next product, you know? That's something which is very hard to figure out because you have no idea in the beginning. And all of those things are extremely tough to figure out by yourself. However, I have already done that, you know? I've been through that route of figuring shit out by myself and also having help with a lot of things, but I now have this complete overview over the dropshipping model, and not because of just myself. The true reason why I have this strong overview is just because I see exactly what every single student of mine does, all right? I consistently monitor everybody and I see which product works, which product doesn't work, which creative works, which creative doesn't work. And I just have this kind of matrix overview over all the students, which get me this perspective which I would never have just by myself. Because me as a person, I can test just so much. However, as a community with the whole mentoring program, we can test insane amounts of products every single day. And I see everything, you know, I see every single split test which is done by every single student. And at this point, we got to a strategy where it's just like insanely good. And I would never be at this point without the mentoring program itself. And because I want to keep the mentoring program one-on-one, I basically can only take on so many people because I have a limited amount of time. I actually take calls one-on-one weekly multiple times with every single student, and it's very time consuming. So we reject around 70% of everybody who applies. But if we actually figure out that you are a good fit, we're going to take you under our wing and tell you exactly what you need to do to become successful in dropshipping and actually make money with this business model and do it full time. All right. The goal of the program is always to quit a job and do the dropshipping full time. And there it's also really important to understand how quick you can quit. And I'm also going to guide you through how much money you need to actually quit your job, how all of those things. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. And if you're still not convinced with the whole thing, I'm going to also put in a couple of testimonials right now so you just understand that it's actually legit. And probably you already watched a lot of my interviews on my YouTube channel. If you didn't, they're also going to be linked somewhere here so you can check those out. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and see you in the free consultation session.
I just want to give a shout out to Michael Bernstein.
He's the best dropshipping coach out there.
Hey guys, I just want to give a big shout out to Michael, my mentor. I started working with him 4 months ago. The guy took me from making $0 to $50,000 this month alone.
But as soon as I started working with him, immediately the first product that he recommended took off. I'll show some proof here. So these are some numbers that we've done since we started end of March, start of April until right now.
Showing my 4-month progress since working with Michael. So here's my main store. We did around 100K in revenue with around 30% net profit.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
The guy did a fantastic job, to be honest. In the beginning, I was also hesitating. I was a bit stubborn.
If you're thinking about taking his course, I'd highly recommend following his process. Was key to make me successful.
Really happy with it. Definitely listen to this guy and enroll in his program.